Welcome to the ultimate challenge of the math world. Solve one of these 7 daunting problems, and you could snag that coveted Fields Medal. One of these is the Navier-Stokes equation, which happens to be Mary's. Looking at the blank nomination, Grandma sighed. Your mom could have left her mark here. But instead, she chose to give up. At this moment, Marie chimed in. If you want, you could leave your photo here. Dear, I can help you. It just takes focus and determination. If you succeed, your name will shine like a bright star on the stage of history. Grandma invited an MIT math professor to throw a challenge at Marie. The professor purposefully left out 2 symbols, but Marie spotted them The professor was baffled by her talent, thinking, why didn't she call out the mistake right away? Mary, you know this problem is incorrect. Why didn't you say anything? Because I've always known that smart kids get all the attention. Frank's worries about his own abilities are quite unnecessary. Under her guidance, Mary's doing just fine. And at home, she shows remarkable social skills too. When they got home, Grandma immediately asked Marie if she would move in with her. Marie replied without hesitation, of course, I'll think about it seriously. A few days later, court officials investigated and found Mary's conditions weren't bad. She was happy living with Frank. This investigation favored Frank, but Grandma splurged on Mary's dad for the second hearing. This is direct blood relation, so theoretically his custody rights should be a slam dunk right. But when asked why he hadn't identified himself for 7 years, things got a bit awkward. He tried to cover his lack of concern with excuses like finding a kid is really hard. To expose his hypocrisy, the lawyer handed him a computer. Here, find Mary's name. With Mary's talent, articles flooded in. Surprisingly, her bio dad couldn't spell her full name right. The judge kept Frank's custody rights. Marie learned her father in the same city ignored her for 7 years. In front of her biological father, her heart ached. Was she really a troublesome child? To dispel this misunderstanding, Frank took Marie to a hospital, but didn't reveal the plan. Until late at night, a baby's cry shattered the silence as Marie witnessed the joy of welcoming new life. This cheerful atmosphere profoundly affected Marie. Uncle said with a meaningful tone that the real intention behind Frank's actions was to convey to Marie that she was not, in fact, an annoying child. At least for me, the joy of welcoming Marie was the same. She was my precious gem. This was supposed to be a mutual family bond, yet Grandma schemed tirelessly to tear them apart for her own benefit. During the 3rd hearing, the lawyer questioned Frank about abandoning his high-paying BU job, and chose to be a broke handyman just to provide Marie with her own room. White turned down offers from prestigious schools. To Frank, these were all actions for Mary's sake. However, at this very moment, the opposing lawyer launched a comprehensive assault, insisting that Frank's parenting style directly contributed to her violent behavior, and blamed him for stifling Mary's talent, robbing her of a bright future. This hit Frank hard, as he had been doubting whether he was doing right by Mary. Such living conditions satisfy Marie. All he could do was take in the criticism silently. This tipped the scale towards Grandma's side. Frank's lawyer friend found him and proposed a compromise. Send Marie to a foster family first and let her decide where to live when she turns 12. Otherwise, if he lost the case, he'd never see Marie again, especially since the judge was quite conservative and likely to favor the more financially stable. Ultimately, Frank chose to compromise. The new foster parents adored Marie immensely. They even agreed to let her keep her one-eyed giant cat and bought her a second-hand piano just for her. Feeling their genuine care for Marie, Frank agreed to send her to this loving foster family. However, Marie seemed unwilling and cried bitterly, having promised her uncle to never part ways, yet now she was cast aside. This struck a huge blow to her young heart. Hearing Mary's heart-wrenching cries, Frank felt a profound sorrow. She used to complain about how Marie affected her personal life, but now that she was alone, she felt an overwhelming sense of loss. Over time, Frank realized that Marie held a significant place in her heart. To mend the pain she caused, Frank prepared gifts and visited, but was turned away by the foster father, citing Mary's low spirits. She understood that Marie hadn't forgiven her yet and still needed time to heal from feeling abandoned. One day, Miss Jenny discovered that the one-eyed giant cat Marie introduced in class was slated to be euthanized. She immediately snapped a picture of this significant news and promptly sent it to Frank. Frank realized the severity of the situation when he opened his phone and rushed to the animal shelter. He intended to save the little guy on the brink of passing, having learned that the cat was brought in by an old lady claiming she was allergic. Realizing she had blatantly violated the agreement and interfered with Mary's new life, Frank stormed into the foster family.